The National Sports Card Convention can be one of the best times of your life, especially if you love the sports card and Pokemon hobby like I do, but it also can be insanely overwhelming. So in this video, I want to share with you everything I wish I knew before I ever went to the National. Thanks for tuning in. The National is an incredible experience. It's quite overwhelming. It's really fun. It's like the best of the hobby all in one place. But there are 8 things that I wish I knew before I went my first time. And number 8 might be a little controversial, so check that out. Make sure you stay around in this video. Again, my name is Chris. This is a Forward the Hobby. This is where I share everything that I've loved and learned about Pokemon and sports cards. Yes, I have been in Pokemon since it started. I grew up in Japan, and I'm such a sports nerd here. That all being said, a year ago, I went to my first National and decided to take this content grind seriously. So I've been on it for a year. If you consider liking, subscribing, I share everything I know on these channels, on TikTok, on Instagram. I sell on TikTok Live, and then I'm also here on YouTube. I love you guys. Thank you so much for even hanging out. Let's jump into number 1. Now, the first thing I wish I knew before I went to the National is that it's going to be overwhelming. You're going to walk into a room with tens of thousands of other people who are in love with this hobby as much as you. It's one thing to go to a regional card show, maybe one in your city. There will be people on the fringes that are maybe getting into the hobby. There's no disrespect here, but what I mean is those regional shows are full of people who are like, I have a few Pokemon cards, I have a few football cards, and I love it. I'm getting into it. I want to buy a couple packs and have some fun. This is the National. This is everyone who is committed to this hobby, whether it be financially as a business venture or just like, I love this, I geek out of this, I'm hardcore about sports cards or Pokemon, and this is like the top 10% of this hobby, not in value or like importance, but just like fanatics wise. So what to do with that information? Take a breath. Now, take it slow, break it down. Last year when I went, it was in Cleveland, which maybe wasn't the best layout, but everything is kind of in pockets. There's vendors and exhibitions, and then like the show floor, and then the VIP section, and then the TCG section, and there's obviously a little bit mixed up, but they're spread out in ways in which you can like kind of take this corner for an hour, take that corner for an hour, and break that show down. It is overwhelming, but it is so worth it. Now, the second thing I wish I knew before going to the National, if you want it, you probably got to buy it. Now, when I say that, normally when I go to a card show, I take a lap. I normally literally, I don't think I buy anything at my local show out here in Boise, or if I go to a fairly big show, I normally take a lap, get a lay of the land, and come back. At the National, it's quite different. There's so many people, and chances are they're interested in something that you're probably interested in, that if you see it and you pass on it, you probably are not going to see it again. This happened to me twice last year. Now, I went with the National last year with the intention of rolling up smaller cards into one big card. And personally, for me, as a Charger fan, I wanted a Justin Herbert auto, and I saw Optic Contenders PSA 9, which is what my budget could afford. And I saw it. When I saw it in my budget, I saw it at a price I thought was reasonable, and I was like, I just can't do it. It's day one. If I do that, then I necessarily don't have any cash for the rest of the trip, or at least what I wanted to budget on that item, so I didn't do it. Lo and behold, day 2, day 3, I didn't see a Justin Herbert Contender Optic Auto in my price range the rest of the time. I went back to the vendor. I said, dude, I sold that thing day 1 real quick. And I was like, dang it. That's a bummer. Second time, Yamin Yamal, if you know, you know. Soccer player, I had a $750 auto that I thought, that's a pretty good buy, to be honest. It was at a vendor that was all baseball and football. He was like, I just took this in on trade. I would happily give it to you, and I didn't pull the trigger. I thought about it. I went to dinner, talked to my buddies. We decided it was a great buy, to be honest. Went back the first thing the next morning, gone. That's the point. You are not going to see it again, most likely, at least if it's something that's relatively either liquid or relatively interesting to most people. Now, I'm saying if you're looking for a very niche player from a very niche vendor, and it's like, you know, you want some random PSA 1 because you're collecting PSA 1s, you may not have this issue. But in my opinion, unlike any other show, if you want it, just grab it, even on day 1. The third thing I wish I knew before going to the National, buy VIP. Now, this is a little moot right now because literally I think VIP just sold out today when I'm filming this, but VIP is so worth it. It's such a sneaky little part. So a lot of you guys may look at that $200 price point and think, why would I do that? I just want to go to the showroom floor. That VIP lounge is crazy. Not only is it great to get off your feet, take a seat, get some water. There's a special place where we were last year. I'm assuming this year as well. There's like a separate concessions for the VIP lounge. They have free water sometimes, but also it turns into like an all-day trade night. And there are people who will sit down on a table like this and just throw their slabs out on the table, and you walk around, and before you know it, you can buy there. And here's the thing, it's peer-to-peer. These people are charging comps and reasonable prices. But man, that place ended up being where I spent most of my money and I did most of my transactions. So, although it may not be available now, sorry about it, the VIP lounge, 100% worth it. Honestly, I'll probably spend 80% of my time down in that VIP lounge, which is crazy to say. The fourth thing I wish I knew before entering the National, trade night is nuts. Let me say that again. Trade night is nuts. Now, granted, Cleveland was an interesting venue. The downstairs area where they were hosting trade night is small. The line was outrageous, right? Again, like back to my earlier point is if you have VIP access, I argue that trade night is kind of what that is, but trade night is crazy. It could be an absolute W for those of you who are really like me, extroverted, happy to meet somebody. But man, if you are not, if you are kind of introverted, if the big crowds itself, I'm not saying you shouldn't go. I'm just saying, like, get ready because it is gnarly. That being said, a lot of people do individual smaller trade nights. If you have a favorite YouTuber, one day maybe I'll host one, but I would maybe find yourself at one of those ones, the large, huge ones, unless they are well run in a very open and big space this year. It's overwhelming. Why do I say that? Don't get all your hopes up on trade night. Trade night is cool. I ended up actually walking up the line on my way to my car and just asking for what I wanted, which was a Justin Herbert downtown, which I graded, got a 10. I just walked the line up. I have video of it, and I was like, hey, I just need a Justin Herbert downtown. Anybody got it? And I just walked through the line. Everyone's looking at me, and I'm like, this is what I want. This is what I'm looking for. This is my budget. Someone was like, I got you. Boom, done. Trade night avoided. The fifth thing I wish I knew before I headed to the National might actually be counterintuitive, but hear me out. This is controversial. It's honestly not the best place to buy cards. Now, when I say that, again, it is a gathering of the community. You will run into celebrities or quote-unquote YouTubers and people that you probably love and follow year-round at the National. If by some chance you like me, come say hi. I would love to say hi. But vendors are honestly at 100%. I've even seen 120% comps. Last year, I wanted a Fernando Tatis PSA 9 blue because, again, I can afford that. The dude was like, no way. And he was charging like 140% comps because he's like, I don't need to move it. I don't really care about this. Here's the reason. This card show is the big vendor at every card show regionally altogether. Think about that. You go to a local card show, there are people who are just hobbyists that are probably like setting up a thing to kind of liquidate extra inventory or things they may not need, or at least roll over inventory. This is the big dogs from every small show in the country together. The cost to get one of these tables is high. The wait list to get on one of these tables is high. And so therefore they are not here to make you a deal. It's almost ruthless. It's honestly, for some of you who are unprepared, it is so frustrating. So come prepared to know that. Come prepared to have fun. Be pleasantly surprised if you get a good deal, but do not walk into that room thinking I'm wheeling and dealing like I'm at my little show around the corner. This is not that. Honestly, as someone who needs inventory, I'm trying to take $10,000 to $15,000 and buy a bunch of football cards and Pokemon cards. I'm not expecting very much. Honestly, I'm spending, like I said earlier, all my money peer-to-peer, VIP, trade night. Anyways, the sixth thing I wish I knew before going to the National was that you're actually going to run into some people that you kind of look up to. Now, maybe I was blindsided by that because I wasn't paying too much attention, but I literally ran into Ken Golden. I ran into Mark Rubin. I ran into Gary V. I ran into Teapot from Sports Card Collector. I ran into Jeff. Every app I've used, they're there. And it's so cool, that part of the community. At least for me, I'm on this content grind. I'm trying to grow my channels and all that stuff. Like and subscribe. Heyo. Everyone was so friendly. I stopped. I said, hey, can I have like 2 minutes of your time and just ask you a few questions on camera? And dude, they were so nice. And so that's something that you may actually love. Card Collector 2, Mojo Sports. They give me like so much time of their time. Zabron James, Mary Gamble. So many of those great influencers, people in our hobby, they're so nice. And so take the time. Relish in it. Have some fun. Talk to the app. And let me say this. If you've loved someone's content or you've loved someone's app, tell them. Tell them. It doesn't... Let me say this. If you've loved someone's content, if you've loved someone's app or something that they've done to contribute to your hobby, tell them thank you. Be a nice person. I will tell you this. Gratitude, humility opens doors. Not saying that's the reason you should do it. But when you say, hey, I just want you to know that I love you, what you do, they're going to be like, hey, who doesn't want to hear that? That's so nice. So just because we're at this massive moment in our hobby doesn't mean you can't be nice. So that's my encouragement. Go open-handed, especially if you have kids. They are so nice to kids. It's super great. Have some fun. But be humans. Be nice. Treat each other the way you'd want to be treated. Blah, blah, blah. That's number 6. The 7th thing I wish I knew before going to the National, it sounds like a lot, is that you need to be prepared for water, snacks, all those things. I know that sounds so silly. I'm sounding like a dad right now. I am a dad. I have 4 kids. That's part of this. But you are potentially in one sweaty fluorescent light room for 8 to 10 hours. There are going to either be chicken tenders that cost you $26 or something like that, or you're going to be slamming a Pepsi you got out of the vending machine. Not a sustainable weekend, trust me. I've been there. I've done it. You are going to go and mow down on some deep dish pizza in Chicago. But hey, a few granola bars, some water, liquid IV, electrolytes, all that stuff. I know that sounds so like dad mode here. That will go take you far on something like this. Have fun, pace yourself, drink some water. You don't want to be the guy that passes out because they were looking for downtowns. All right. The 8th thing I wish I knew before going to the National, and you may not like this one. The jury's out for me if the National packs and some of the National exclusive stuff is really worth it. Now, if you're unfamiliar, the National has what's called National packs, or if you're lucky enough to have a Panini redemption, you can get like a white box. Those are super cool. The white boxes and the redemption stuff, super cool. I wish to get one day. I probably am not. The National packs, things that come, or the Topps exclusive packs, the Panini packs that come with something like, hey, if you buy 3 of these boxes, you get 2 National packs. That's like $300-$400, $250 or whatever to get one of these exclusive packs. You can flip these packs for $150, $100, whatever. That being said, I don't think they're worth it. I actually hit something decent. I had out of my little group of buddies, I hit the best thing. I hit an orange Yameen Yamal to 25, rookie, National, cool. If you pay attention, the National exclusive stuff, the National stamped, isn't necessarily a huge value add to the cards. Plus, you're spending a lot of money on like B-tier product. Like I bought Bundesliga soccer or Premier League Select, which is fine. I like soccer, but it was the cheapest way to get these packs. I see a lot of people drop thousands of dollars of cash with the allure of the National packs, and they're like okay at best. Hear me though, I probably will never hit the Caitlin Clark Gold that was like last year's chase that's going to change your life, but I'm also not going to like lose consistently $2,000 chasing it. And so that's the thing. I don't know that if you're like me, but as a Ford the hobby, someone who's trying to make reasonable decisions as an average, consumer here, I just don't think it's worth it. Get at me in the comments if you want, but I would steer clear. If there's a product that you like, let me say this. Let me tell you this. If there's a product that you like that you would buy either way, and it's another $150 or something to get enough to get a few National packs, roll the dice. You're going to buy the product anyways. You want to rip. If there's a product that I like, I'm going to do it. But I am not buying a 3rd-tier product just so I could open a National pack and hopefully I hit something. That being said, watch me rip one and like hit a monster and I'll be like, National packs are the best thing ever. I speak that in. Let's do it. I would love to have that happen. That being said, it's probably not. Now, those are just 8 things that maybe are helpful. Maybe you think I'm just a total noob and like, why would you say these things? If that's so, whatever. If not, if I can be helpful, I would love to help you. My name's Chris. This is Afford the Hobby. This is where I like to share everything and help us all grow together. I hope to see you at the National. I'm like a rookie, I know that, but if you happen to run into me and you want to say hi, I would absolutely love it. Please, I do not expect to be on that level with anyone yet. But if you like this content, my name is Chris. This is Afford the Hobby. Like and subscribe, a small creator. Peace.